Tonight at 7, a river guide in Utah tries to make curry and everything's fine. Until it isn't.
I'm Steve Croft.
I'm Leslie Stahl.
I'm Bob Simon.
I'm Morley Safer.
I'm Dave
I'm Scott Pelley. Those stories and Andy Rooney, tonight on 60 Minutes.
I live in an apartment on River Road in Moab, Utah, with 4 other bachelors, and there was one night I was making curry like I normally do, and everything was fine. I went to add the turmeric, picked up the bowl, and it just slipped out of my hands. And that bowl felt like it was in the air forever. You know, I'm sure you know, when seconds seem to feel like minutes, the bowl just fell forever, and it landed on the ground, and I picked it up. I didn't even notice at first, but turmeric had spilled out onto the floor, and like I said, I live with 4 other bachelors, so the apartment kitchen is always disgusting, so that's why I didn't see it right away, and when I did see it, I wiped it up with my sock. All that isn't so bad, but what I did afterward is I took off my socks and I put them in the laundry with everything else. And when the laundry cycle was over, my whites, they were no longer white. Howdy, hey, my beloved ecological fiends. If you haven't guessed it already, today our video is about dyeing with turmeric. We're going to be dyeing this white shirt that I'm wearing here, and this video was specifically requested by Itinel Valgavali. So this one's for you, feller. Thanks for watching the videos, and I hope that this answers your question. So today we're just going to start with about a gallon of water. We're going to dump about 2 cups of turmeric in there, and we're going to put it on medium-high heat. We don't necessarily need this water boiling, we just want it hot. You can boil it if you want, and these measurements that I'm using are really not based off of anything. I'm kind of just flying on the seat of my pants here and making guesses. So the shirt that we're going to be dyeing, there's no tag on it. I got it used. Somebody gifted that to me, as well as the pants that I'm wearing in the video. But I would guess it's probably about 50% spandex and 50% cotton. So once your water's nice and warm there and your turmeric's nice and dissolved, you're just going to lower your shirt or cloth or whatever it is you're dyeing into there. Make sure it's completely submerged. And then we're going to be stirring this a little bit. If you don't want to stain your spoon, make sure that you do not use a wooden spoon. But I always recommend a wooden spoon because then it keeps the flavor of the shirt, so when you make soup you can be reminded of what you're wearing. So just keep moving that around in there, and really what we're trying to do here is prevent creases from forming because the turmeric can collect and become darker inside these creases. We're using a rather small pot for this, so the creasing is most likely going to come out after we're done with this, but we're just going to keep manipulating the shape of the cloth to try and prevent that as much as possible. Once you're done with that, pull it out like a hot mess of wet noodles. Make sure you burn your hand. Slop that sucker right in the washing machine. And then I'm also going to use a cotton t-shirt here to wipe up my mess, but also so that we can see the immediate staining properties of turmeric here, and so that we can have kind of a control to see what it would look like if we didn't do that boiling process and we just threw it in the wash with turmeric. So I put it through 3 regular washing cycles together with nothing else. If you put anything else in here, it's going to get stained. 3 regular washing cycles. And you can see the effects that hit all of my clothing after the sock incident. That's a true story, by the way. And we can see that compared to our heating in the pot method with the thermal underlayer there. That was the shirt that we put in the pot earlier. And the thermal looks a lot better. And you can see here, after being dried through 1 regular medium heat drying cycle, the dyeing is pretty much unchanged there. So we went from a perfectly white shirt to a shirt with lots of pit stains. And then you can also see on the thermal layer here, there is some staining, some blotching, but again, we used a pretty small pot, so to avoid this, I think we'd need to use something a little bit larger. But it doesn't really matter to me. I think it looks pretty good.
Well, wouldn't you know it, it's actually a little bit rainy out here in Moab. The dyeing and drying process is complete with 3 wash cycles and one drying cycle. t-shirt didn't work out so well. It's extremely splotchy, as you saw in the video. So it's just kind of a rag for me right now. But I think the difference in the two results between those is that this has much more of a textured fabric, whereas the t-shirt was much more uniform, more like these pants here. So I think this had much more for the dye to actually lock onto. It smells like turmeric now. I don't know if my skin is going to be yellow if I go for a run in this or something. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to try that. Okay. I don't think so. I don't know that I would want to go swimming in it, though. That's for a different video, I guess. But here, this, I mean, it came out pretty well. It's definitely a little bit splotchy, a little bit, you know, I wouldn't wear this to something formal. I wouldn't use this on a piece of clothing that I would like to resell, probably, or that I was doing for somebody that expected a professional result here. There's some splotchiness kind of all over the place. It looks like oil stains on here, which I don't really love, but the reason I did this was because somebody gave me both this shirt and these pants, actually. And this is a thermal shirt, so it's a base layer, so it doesn't really matter if it looks splotchy or stained or whatever. You know, it's not something formal or part of a uniform, so it's okay to ruin. But thankfully we didn't ruin it. We just made something new, which is cool. I really like the color yellow that it came out with. I could have gone with a bit of a more burnt color, so I think perhaps adding more turmeric in the future would result in a darker color. But I'm pretty satisfied with this. It's a really great first dye for, you know, a new dyeing material. But that's it, folks. You asked specifically for a turmeric video, so here it is. What other natural dyes do you want to see in the future? Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here and watching me almost, you know, ruin more clothing with turmeric, which I really don't want to dye with again. I stopped cooking with it because it was so frustrating to have everything be yellow all at once. But yeah, drop that in the comments below if you have any questions. I'm happy to try and figure out the answers for you if I don't know them off the top of my head. Thanks for being here. Please consider subscribing if you like the effort that I put into the videos and you want to see more of that. And stay hungry.